Hello friends, today we are going to deal with the natural vegetation and wildlife part 2. In part 1 we had discussed about the tropical evergreen forest, tropical monsoon forest, temperate evergreen forest, Mediterranean forest, temperate deciduous forest, then coniferous forest. So that means different types of forest. As we know that the major type of vegetation which is available in the world, that is been grouped into forest, grasslands and shrubs. So forests you have already understood. Now today I shall be telling you about the grasslands. In grasslands we will be talking about the tropical grasslands. Now tropical grasslands, that means it is in the tropical area, so you should understand that which is the tropical area. Here on the screen I am showing you the tropical zones and the subtropical zones. If you see the world map, then you find that which are the countries which are coming in the tropical zones, like uh, let us see that these are the areas which are coming in the tropical area, and this is the subtropical area. Here also the subtropical area below the tropical zones. India, if you see, then two it comes under two, that is it is also in the tropical area and also in the subtropical area. Okay, so we shall be talking about the different types of vegetations which are found over here. Now this tropical grasslands, these are the grasslands which are located in the tropical zones, and this is the homes of many primates in Africa and Asia. Now these primates, they are the animals which belong to the class of mammals. This tropical grassland is also termed as savannas. So no savanna living primates exist in South America, and tropical grassland comprises of trees and grasses. It mainly comprises of trees and grasses, and the proportion of the trees to the proportion of grass, it varies from region to region in the tropical areas, and that depends upon the amount of rainfall received. And the area of high seasonal rainfall supports woodland, tall trees, while the other areas it is lush with grasses and forms the ground vegetation. And where there is rainfall is both seasonal and low, their shrubs are also found. This is the type of vegetation in which the natural vegetation, it is very thin and sparse. That means it is not thickly planted. Trees are not found over here. It is very thin and sparse. And some of the areas which are found in the where this tropical grassland are found, they are located in Guinea Highland in South America, Brazilian Highlands, and Sudan and Northern Australia. These are some of the areas which are found. So you can see on the screen the tropical grassland, and you can see that the number of trees are very less. Next we have the temperate grassland. In the temperate grassland, the area, it is the characteristics, as some of the grasses are here. If you see the characteristics of the temperate grassland, then grasses are the main dominating vegetation, and the trees are large, and shrubs are not found over here. Okay, the temperature is it also varies from summer to winter. That means that whatever is the temperature during the summer and whatever is the temperature in winter, there is a great variation in that. And the amount of rainfall is also very less in this area. So tropical grasslands, it receives less rainfall, but it receives more rainfall than the desert area, because desert is the area where we also say that it receives very scanty rainfall, and in tropical areas, tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands also we are saying less rainfall. But here you should be clear enough that it receives more rainfall than a desert. It is this temperate grassland, it is named differently in different regions. Like it is named as steppes in Eurasia, prairies in North America, downs in Australia, velds in South Africa, and pampas in South America. Now these prairies, they have long grasses, whereas the steppes, they have short grasses. And this temperate grassland, they have also served as a primary habitat for people as well as animals over centuries. Long back, from centuries, it has been a good habitat for animals as well as humans, and they have also supported a long number of grazing animals. And these grasses, they are a good source of the fodder for the animals. Now these vegetations, when we are talking about, there is we have talked about the forest also, now grasslands also. So there is an institute which is named as the Forest Research Institute, which is found in this it is found in Dehradun in our country, and its focus is to increase the forest productivity through the research and sustainable forest management with proper techniques. So this is the image of the Forest Research Institute, which is in Dehradun. This is the temperate grassland. Here you can see it is merely covered with the grassy areas, and the trees are absent over here. So the grasses, as I said, that this temperate grassland, they have a this is the main vegetation which is found in this type of areas. Now next we have the tundra vegetation, and in tundra vegetation, it is present in high latitudes. High latitudes, if we talk about, then if you remember the globe, there let me see over here. So the horizontal lines, here we are having the major latitudes, which are Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So when we talk about the high latitudes, then it will go towards the polar area. Okay, and then this tundra vegetation which we are talking, it is in the northern pole side, which is termed as Arctic Circle, and here it is mainly covered with snow. So this type of vegetation, here the temperature is very less, and it in this tundra vegetation, it is mainly composed of dwarf shrubs. That means the shrubs are very small, and grasses are also there, mosses, lichens, these are also there, and the trees are very scattered. That means it is not very closely packed, and in this tundra region the trees are very scattered. And the tundra region, it is found just below the ice caps. You can see in the image that the icy areas are also seen in the mountainous side, and just in below the icy caps of the Antarctic circle, this tundra vegetation is found. And it is also found at the top of very high mountains. It is found in the very high mountains elsewhere in the world, if you see. And the main characteristic feature of this tundra vegetation where it is found is that the climate over here there is extremely cold, and very low biotic diversity is found over there, and the short seasons of growing and reproduction is found. That means it is since it is ice covered, and that is why the land areas just below the ice caps, the vegetation grows over there. So what happens, that during the summer season, when the surface of the earth receives the sunlight, there the vegetation starts developing, and it is very short duration of time when this area receives the that much of amount of heat, where it more of the vegetation of the tundra type vegetation grows over here. The next type of vegetation we have is the desert vegetation. Now the desert vegetation, here the plant cover is very sparse, means very scanty, very less number of plantations are seen, and trees are usually, you can say, absent. And under the normal climatic conditions, the shrubs or the herbs type of plants, they provide actually only very less covering to the ground. So it is just a very incomplete ground cover, you can say. So the desert type of vegetation in this area, it is generally very hot and dry, and here the amount of rainfall received is very less. And the vegetation, since I am saying that it is sparse, that means it is just negligible, very less vegetation is seen in this. Usually the thorny type of vegetations like bushes, cactus, acacia, these are some of the common vegetations which are found over there. These vegetation, you will see the outer covering of this cactus, if you have observed in your garden, then you must have seen that the outer covering is very hard, and it actually protects the water from being evaporated from the leaves of these such type of plants. And the roots of such plants, they penetrate deep into the earth so that it can absorb the water from the ground. So this type of vegetation is found over there in the desert type of vegetation. Now these vegetations, as it is of great importance, so it is very necessary that the conservation of natural vegetation should happen. It is very important that the awareness should be there, that the people should understand, since the forest is our natural wealth, and human beings, there are many needs which it has been trying to satisfy its needs from, not only from the nature but also from the resources, different types of resources found. So, and since in this forest and vegetation, these are all very important in our life, that is why the destruction which the human beings has been doing out of the greed or the requirements of the human being, that has to be put to an end. And this is due to certain reasons, you can say, like the growing population, or these large number of trees were being cut down. Then for settling up some industries, again they cleared the patch of land, and then again the cutting of the trees happened. For agriculture also, they needed the land, for that also clearing was done. Then for residential purposes also, when the land was cleared up. So in this way, the removal of the forest or the cutting of the trees, which went on, and this was named as deforestation. Due to this deforestation, the forest started diminishing, and it was a great concern that it had to be saved for the future generation. So there are certain important methods which should be adopted for the conservation of the natural vegetation. Now forest reserves, they has to be protected a lot. And these, like there are illegal hunting processes also, which brings hindrance in the vegetation of the, and also the wildlife. So this is very important that the forest reserve should be protected. Then afforestation should be done. Now afforestation should be done, so large plantation of the trees to increase the number of forest. There are very barren areas where the tree should be planted. Then wherever the deforestation has been done, so there also the plantation should be done for the replacement of those trees which had already been cut down. Then protection of the forest from the forest fires. Due to forest fire, what happened? More number of trees gets burnt, and it is a great loss. So it is very important to protect the forest from forest fires. Then there was a time when shifting cultivation was in practice. Now this shifting cultivation, what used to happen, that a patch of land used to be cleared out, and then there some agricultural work was done, crops were cultivated, and then when the land lost its fertility, then they used to shift, the tribal people, they used to usually shift to another place, and then again a patch of land was cleared up, that means cutting of the trees, and then again there they practiced this cultivation. So this was the shifting cultivation, due to which lot of trees were cut down. So this shifting cultivation brought a great loss in the forest, that is why this should be discouraged. Then social forestry should be promoted. Now in this social forestry, there should be some methods where the protection of the forest or afforestation of the barren and deforested land with the purpose of helping the environment should be taken care of. Then some social and rural development should also take place. And then there are like forestry, and there are some forestry which is done with the proper techniques and purposes, agroforestry, where it is done for the agricultural processes. So this social forestry should be encouraged a lot. And last but not the least, that it should be encouraged in the school children, and proper awareness should be created, like Van Mahotsav in the school, states and national levels, so that the proper care of the plants and trees can be taken care of, and even more number of trees should be grown, because the increasing population, it is the concern of it is a great concern all over the world. It is not only that only few countries are responsible for that. Because of the population is growing, it is a great concern, because for everything they need the patch of land for some certain purposes, and then again this deforestation is taking place, like construction of roads, then other things which we had talked about, so buildings, residential areas. So all these things, for that conservation, since it brought a great loss of the natural vegetation, that is why it is very important that the conservation of natural vegetation should happen. It is our due responsibility that we should take care for that. Now this is all about the natural vegetation. Now we shall be talking about the wildlife. Now the wildlife, it is we know that there are various species of animals, but when these various species of animals, when they live together in the natural surrounding, then this is the wildlife. This is the definition of wildlife. It can be said that the various species of the animals which are living together in natural surrounding, and they form a very important part in our ecosystem. Now in different countries, different types of wildlife are present. As we talked about, that there are different climatic conditions which is responsible for the natural vegetation to grow. In the same way, since animals are also dependent directly or indirectly on the vegetation, that is why this the type of climatic condition and the type of vegetation, that also differentiates about regarding the availability, or you can say the presence of wildlife in different areas. So in South America, if you talk about, then it is very rich continent in terms of wildlife. Then yes, so it is very rich in South America is the most richest continent in terms of wildlife, and there are large varieties of reptiles, snakes and mammals in this way, and one of the well known is anaconda. Then there are different types of birds also found in this area. Then if you talk about Africa, it is in the equatorial forest, and it is swampy and the grasslands over there, as we talked just now, and it is the home of elephants, crocodiles, rhinoceros, monkeys, hippopotamus. So large varieties of animals and birds, they are also found in this area. Then Australia, if you talk about, then there are it has many unique animals, like half of these animals are marsupials. Now these marsupials are the animals that carries their young ones in a pouch near their abdomen. So you must have heard the kangaroos, and you must have seen in the movies also, these kangaroos, they have the pouch in the near their abdomen, and they carry these babies till they are capable enough to look after themselves. So there are certain flightless, emu is also found over here, which is a flightless bird. That is why it is said that Australia is having very unique type of animals in this area. Then Antarctica, it does not possess any variety of wildlife like penguins. These are some of the penguins, or snow petrels, white doves. These are some of the different species which are found over here. Seal is also found over here. Then the wildlife of Europe, it consists of wild boars, sheep, wolves, foxes and rabbits, and large number of birds are also found, like skylarks, nightingales. Okay, then North America, here if you see that wildlife consists of polar bear, reindeer, Arctic foxes, mountain lions. These are some of the wildlife which is found over in this area in North America. Okay, now as we know that whether it is wildlife or the natural vegetation. Both are of great importance to our life. It maintains the ecological balance of the nature, and that is why it is our due responsibility and very important that the conservation of wildlife should also be done. So for conservation of wildlife, many steps are also being taken. Like many species, they are becoming endangered, and like they have already no longer it exists, and there are some species which are in the verge of extinction. So and because so many damages has been done to the wildlife by the beings, there are many human activities through which this loss has been caused. And supposing the people are building roads, railways, deforestation is taking place, then poaching are some of the major factors responsible for the decline in the numbers of particular species. So this way there are several animals which has been poached for trading, illegal trading rather I should say, illegal trading for the teeth or horns, skins, nails and feathers. So these thing has already happened, so it is our due responsibility that the animals which have extinct and they are in the verge of extinction, those animals should be protected so that the numbers should increase and the ecological balance should be maintained. By construction of road and what we were talking about, like the people are constructing road, railways and deforestation is happening. So what happened, the natural habitat has been destroyed, due to which what happens, the wildlife they become insecure and ultimately they are also killed. So these are some of the things happenings which had already happened. So the conservation is very important. So for this, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, this is an international agreement which had happened between the governments, and it states that the wildlife and the forest should be conserved and it should go hand in hand. It is not that the people who are responsible for the natural conservation of natural vegetation should not bother about the wildlife. No, it should go hand in hand, both the conservation, whether it is wildlife or the natural vegetation, both should be taken care of. And for that, many national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, all this has been are being taken care of, where the conservation of wildlife and natural vegetation is taking place. And it is for the wildlife also, it is very important that there should be awareness among the school children also, so that they understand the importance of the natural vegetation and wildlife, and then it will become very easy to understand the importance of the conservation of wildlife and natural vegetation. So in this chapter we came to know about the natural vegetation in respect to this natural vegetation and wildlife, the conservation of why this is important. I hope you must have understood well. This is all for this chapter. Thank you.